Paintball nerd.
Today's guest on Paintball Nerd started playing paintball in 1983. In 2014, he started his channel Old Paintball Magazines, which evolved into the much beloved T222boy. He's been a big part of helping major teams win victories, including Aftershock, X Factor, and Farside. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Tom Boyer. Hi.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm happy to have you on the show here.
Nice to be here.
You know, you've been busy, bringing the nostalgia back to paintball.
Yes.
So
There are many scans out there.
yes. So we're gonna get into that, but let's start off here, Tom, with how did you get into paintball in '83?
I was at a mall with my family. We went to a bookstore. My mom came up eventually to me and said, "Look what I found," and showed me the National Survival Game Handbook.
Yes.
Said, "I think you'll like this." And so I bought it. There was a directory in the back of, official fields. There was one like about an hour and a half from here. I eventually made my way over there and started playing.
What was the game like in '83?
Haven't stopped. 83, well, there was 007 nail spots, oil-based paint, 12 grams. The tubes were aluminum, so they weren't even plastic. You couldn't put them in the back of the magazine. You had to put the 10 balls in and put the cap back on. There was no magazine stop, so that when you had 10 balls, it was fine. You could work the bolt and a ball would fall in. When you got to 5,
Gotta lean it forward.
Yeah, or backwards, they would roll past. When it was full, it didn't matter. Up, down, more than 5, they would fall in. After 5, you had to rock it around to get the ball to drop in the hole. Which cost me my first kill.
Were you one of the guys that didn't wear goggles?
They rented or whatever. When you went and paid, you got just the shop goggles. I had some military Army surplus goggles that were rubber framed and felt much better to wear all day. So I took those and wore those for the longest time until real goggles showed up.
Yeah. Do you have any cool stories in your tenure in paintball from '83 till now?
No, none.
Give me one that's gonna embarrass someone.
Embarrass someone? I don't know. I can't think of any that would embarrass anybody.
Do you know why Ron Kilborn has a brand new toothbrush every time for every day?
No, why's that?
Oh, I actually should have asked him during his interview, but
yeah,
someone played a prank on him, and there was an incident.
Oh, yeah,
toothbrush.
With toothbrushes, he doesn't trust any toothbrush.
Yeah. So the toothbrush was got compromised by someone, and he continued to use the toothbrush, and then days or weeks later, people sent him a photo of the toothbrush being compromised.
That's pretty embarrassing. As I commented when you interviewed him, I definitely have seen Ron with the puffy lip before.
Yeah, he's a bruiser. Well, what about your favorite memory?
I don't know, winning 3 World Cups with the UWL 5-man. That's a pretty good memory. 3 in a row.
What team was that?
12, 13, and 14.
What was your team?
vigilante. So
Ah,
Carl Pointer from Die, his brother Kyle, John Dresser, myself, and Devin Scheitland, pump player from Total Grief in St. Louis.
what kind of guns were you guys using?
Um, Inception, Cockers, but pumped sometimes. Well,
Oh, it was
I've
pumped.
got a pump on mine. Uh, Tom changed the rules in UWL a lot. 5-man stayed the same, but in 10-man, at first you had to have one player with a pump. Then he changed it to an autococker or
Hmm,
a mechanical,
yeah.
along with his full auto as fast as you can shoot, uh, heavy gunner. So I usually played the pump or the mechanical gun when we were playing 10-man in UWL.
It's funny that the mechanical guns these days, people call them the space guns. They're barely
Yeah.
mechanical, right? It's just
Oh,
like
yeah, right. Yeah, no, they're right. EMEX and DSRs are they're so fast.
yeah, you can shoot them faster than 10.5, which is the NXL speed limit.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah,
what do
I know
you
you can for sure.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about the evolution of the game?
I like it. I mean, it's definitely improved along the way. The guns are so much better, as we just said. The NXL is what it is. I think sometimes it's a little boring. It's very repetitive anyway.
Yeah, it is.
But it's good, and that I'm sure that helps with the non viewing or non playing viewing public. You know, figuring out what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was designed to be, like, more, spectator friendly. But sometimes I don't feel, like, the same excitement when, like, it's just one game that's on the line. Like
Right, right.
like,
No,
for
seven
X-Ball,
man
you
or
kinda have to build up to it, you know? Like, if the
right.
game's really good and it ends up being a minute left and it's 4, you know, the tie is scored, the score is tied,
Yeah,
then that's exciting, right? But sometimes if it's just a
right,
blowout, you're like, "Eh," you know?
right. Whereas in 7-man or 10-man, there was the move. Somebody you're going to ask who's a favorite player. John Richardson is one of those guys that could just all of a sudden change a game completely by
Yeah,
making a move up the middle or whatever, and just ninja out of like nowhere. All of a sudden, he's running
yeah.
down the field shooting everybody, and that doesn't really happen in X ball.
Yeah, and it could, but it's less consequential, right? Like if you're losing the game and you go through a run through, it's great, and your teammates are like, "Great move," but may not have an impact on the game if you're behind a few points.
Right,
Whereas, like,
right,
during 7-man and 10-man, those types of moves, those run-throughs were amplified because everything was on the line. Like, it was either make the finals or don't make the finals or win first place or not. So, it's like
right.
there was more on the line, which made it more exciting to watch.
Yes,
So, in 2014, you started Old Paintball magazines. What inspired that?
having piles of magazines laying around, always flipping through them, looking at the pictures, you know, and then even the ads, like JT ads, were so cool.
Yeah,
And looking at those and going, this is such a cool picture. And unless you're me or someone as old as me who's been around, you don't even know this picture exists.
true.
So I decided to start playing around with my all in one printer, scanner, copier, and seeing what I could do to digitize it and put it out there so that younger people can see these things.
Did you anticipate that it would be as popular as it is?
No, not as popular as the Instagram is.
I mean, you've got nearly 6,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah, real close.
But it's I mean,
Last
it's
I
such a
looked.
joy, it's such a joy to go through your page and I mean, for me personally, it brings me back to that era where I was at the top of my game and I get to see people I competed against. I get to see pictures of myself that you've posted and it's such a special thing, and I hope for the people that didn't live in that era, it's special for them too, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I never even, or I didn't really even think about like what you just said about you seeing it yourself and going, that I was just like, these are cool pictures. They need to live longer than you know being stuck in a magazine on a
Yeah.
shelf in this room.
Well, I mean, you've posted pictures that I didn't even know existed, and that's like a joy, because I
Oh
wasn't in a
yeah,
lot of
I'm sure.
magazines. So, the ones that, whenever I heard like, "Oh, you're in it," I'd go find it, track it down, and go get it. So, when you've posted a few pictures, I'm like, "I didn't even know this photo existed." It's just like it's special to me. So, thank you.
Yeah, well, and you're welcome. Some of them, you know, come out not looking so good because they're so tiny in the magazine. Which is probably some of those that you didn't even know existed because they were just a little, you know, postage stamp size picture. But I
Yeah.
still scan them and do the best I can to get them where they're viewable and put them up.
So, how much effort goes into this? You've got just on Instagram, you've got 2,534 posts. Some of those posts have more than one photo in them. You're scanning a lot.
Yeah, I try to do one every day. Try to put one up about 8 o'clock my time every day. Doesn't
How do
always
you
work out, but
Yeah.
being away at tournaments in California and wherever you're, there's lots going on. I don't always get them up, but that's the plan, is to try 8 o'clock every day.
How do you decide on what photo to use?
I usually I scan. I go through the magazine. Got the little post-it tabs put on. Oh, I want this picture. I want to do this one. I want to do that one. Then I'll sit down and usually try to do the whole magazine in one shot, and then just throw them in a Dropbox folder so I can get to them to post them. Sometimes it's, I don't know. It's just daily. Whatever hits me is, I like this one. It's going up. Or I talked to Zyzek today, and there's one of him. I'll put it up.
Yeah.
You know.
So there has to be a finite number of these posts that you can do. Eventually you're going to run out of magazines, right?
Yes, eventually. I don't know when that is. I've
What
got.
what percentage of your stack are you through?
I don't. I really don't know. I have over 1,500.
Oh my gosh.
Um. Uh. I don't know. Maybe half. Maybe. I'm not real good at keeping organized in the stacks what I've
Yeah.
done or not. I've got folders on the desktop with each one that I've scanned, so I know, whether I've done that magazine or not. But that's not even straightforward all the time, because Paintball Games International for a while would have a European issue and an American issue, and they both say that they're August of 2001. So
Ah, you gotta put,
trying to
like,
keep track by
EU on it.
dates is even hard sometimes.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, this dresser back here, that's completely full of magazines. I don't know if you can see the rack. No, you can't see the rack. The rack just beyond the KP3 on the wall there is full of magazines. I got 2 stacks right next to me, right over here. Uh, they're on a cabinet that's full of magazines. I got boxes and boxes out in the garage. I mean,
So
I
did
got a
you
bunch.
acquire these like organically? It's just like every time a Paintball magazine came out, you were a subscriber, or recently have you been adding to the collection?
Both.
Okay.
Originally, I traveled for work, so I'm spending, whatever, 5 nights a week, 4 nights a week in hotels in different cities. Got to have something to do. You can only, see the movie so many times in a week. So I would find where the magazine shops and bookstores were and go see what new magazines they had for paintball. And being a pack rat, I just kept them all.
What was your favorite magazine?
Faceful and PGI both had really good pictures. Paint,
Yeah.
I like paint because both the Chris's live, I don't know, lived like 30 minutes up the road from me. We played at the same local field. So Dilts and Haas, I knew them really well. There's a French magazine called Paint Check. There's an American Paint Check, but there was also a French Paint Check. The French Paint Check was really, really good. Just
Yeah.
the photography, and I mean, you know how the photography in Facefuls really is stand out. This was before Faceful, and may even be some of the same people, but it was a really good magazine.
I always
That
thought Faceful was like the next, kind of like this next level magazine. Like when it came out, it's like that's the
oh
magazine that
yeah,
everyone wanted to be in.
yeah, because it was glossier paper. It was usually very thick,
Exactly.
full of pictures.
Yeah, a face full of pictures.
Yes.
So is there anything new and exciting that you're working on for T222boy?
No, not. I mean, as we said, I still got a bunch of magazines to go through, so still be posting pictures. I also have not all, but a large number of like the PCRIs and
Okay.
Paintball News, the newspapery ones, but they are
Wow.
so much bigger and harder to scan.
You might try using your phone. Like certain phones have this, you can take a photo of it and it turns it into a scan. That might be easier.
Yeah, yeah, I've tried that some. I've got another scanner over here that I don't know, it's like on a crane that sits up. You can lay the stuff out and do it, but they're almost too big for that.
Oh, so
Plus,
you're not just like
they're newspaper. And they're like folded, and they want to
yeah.
fold back up. You got to get a like plate of glass to hold them down, and then it's all how much a reflection of the light is, bouncing back off the glass and glaring and
Tom, I think what you do is important. And it's selfless because I don't think people understand how much work goes into what you do. It's tedious to sit there and scan everything and find the good
oh
pictures.
yeah, yes, yeah, and even on the scanner, one side of the magazine weighs more than the other, right? So even putting it in there, getting it straight, holding it so it doesn't move, and it's multiple pages, they almost always come out like 1 degree cocked one way
Yeah,
or the
like you see
other.
the little curve on it.
Right, right. The letters are tilted, and so yeah, I crop them down. I take that 1 degree of tilt back out sometimes. you know, there are other times they don't. Like there are long, tall, skinny pictures that are cool, but if you try to post those on Instagram, it wants them to be a different
Square.
size, and so I have to take them and give them a bigger black background so that I can get them all to post instead of 3/4 of it to post.
When you're at events, do people know that you're T222boy?
Most of the time, no.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I talked to you for like 20 minutes before I knew, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's you?" You gotta get
Yeah,
you have a shirt, right? You have a shirt that
I
says
have I have a couple that GI Sports has made for the pit crew that I told them to put that on the back instead of my name.
smart. Well, let's talk about pit
And
crewing.
and I
Oh, go
did
ahead.
get I do get occasionally people coming up. Is that you? It's your page? I'm like, yes, that's me.
That's awesome. So how'd you get into pit crewing for Aftershock and X Factor and Farside?
And I always have gone to Badlands to practice. Not That's not the only place, but I've gone to Badlands regularly for practices in the old days for 10 man. I've always been a Aftershock fan, of course, being there in their Midwest and all. Um, Played with Rennick and Gary and some of them in some UWLs. Then when Shock started playing, because we played as Lords of Discipline and Scream and a few other older team names. But they had Meter and Paxson and all these really, experienced guys, good guys come in and play. So I just decided I'm gonna load pods for them and take that task away
Mm.
from them, give them more time to talk about game plans or go watch games or whatever. And brought Clayton along with me so that he and I are both just there loading pods, making it
Well,
easier for the
you guys got a
teams.
system down too. Like you're pro.
Well, yeah, we've after doing it for so long and wearing your thumbs out, popping those lids, and oh yeah, we started, you know, came up with our little system. It just, have empty pods, lids are open, you know, just getting them organized into boxes, getting the box loader ready so that we can zip through them quickly. Then that led to I think Iron Man was who we went up and helped out first, and LJ Parrish had just made Iron Man, so we went since he was a aftershock guy. We went over and helped Iron Man in Chicago, and a couple more times after that. Then he went to X Factor. Meter plays with Shock, so we talked to them about helping out X Factor. So we ended up in X Factor's pit, helping them for a year or so. Then now Todd has brought Aftershock back, so we had to go over and help Todd with Aftershock. We've still been helping X Factor too whenever there's not a direct conflict in the games.
Yeah, but Aftershock is the priority,
Yes.
naturally.
Yeah. Here, I'll take off the pro DNA champion
There you go.
shirt here
Wear those colors. Yeah.
and get the real colors on.
There we go. How did you and Clayton meet?
He was just playing paintball and needed a team, so one of the teams I was on needed players for the second team and got him there playing, and then realized he was a good talker and was very good at seeing trends that people are doing and explaining things so that people can understand them, and just went from there, forming teams. We had a NTK, Naptown Killers. That was his and myself's team in
How long have you guys been friends?
2004. How long friends?
Yeah.
I don't know, the mid 90s or so, I think is when
Oh,
he
wow.
started playing.
You guys been
So
in it.
we ran NTK in the early 2000s in 7-man NPPL, and then that kind of morphed into Mutiny. We helped Mutiny for a while. Just, I don't know, been around.
Yeah. Well, I see some cool stuff on your wall there. It looks like an old Sheridan rifle there. You got Spud's
Yep.
jersey, got some trophies.
Yep.
So I want to get into some of your stuff here, but before we do that, I want to thank some sponsors. So first and foremost is Lumi Gummies. It's LUMI gummies.com. Use Paintball Nerd at checkout and you'll get 20% off your first order and 10% off future orders. This is for 21 and up. So this is a Delta 9 product. So if you want to replace addictive prescription drugs, try Delta 9, lumigummies.com, Paintball Nerd at checkout. Next is our dear friend, John Dresser. Go to paintballretro.com. If you like cool retro paintball gear, JT gear, check out paintballretro.com. Click the link in the description below, and that tells John that I sent you there, and that helps out the show. It's much appreciated. And then we've got Nectar Energy. That's NECTR.energy. And this is a nootropic. It's got caffeine and cognizine. No addictive stuff in there, unless you get addicted to caffeine, which could be possible. But they're great. The Nectar Energy pouches are great. If you use Paintball Nerd at checkout, you get 15% off your entire order, which applies to the first subscription and one-time orders. So NECTR.energy. Use Paintball Nerd at checkout. And then finally is Gap Paintball Magazine. Go to gappaintball.com and subscribe to an awesome new magazine. Magazines are great. The revitalization of print is back. And these magazines are so big that Tom can't even scan these pages because it's like this big.
Nope.
It's
huge.
It's an awesome book. So check it out. If you're a store or a field and you want to carry the Gap magazine, send me an email, sales.zyzek@gmail.com, and I'll get you hooked up there. So, Tom, what do you got to show us? Show us some cool stuff.
Well, as you said, there's the KP3 back there on the wall. That I had one like this. This is not my original gun, but I had one like that.
Does it come off the
I've
wall?
got it.
Can you bring it closer?
Oh yeah. Comes off.
Oh man, this is exciting. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, they don't make them like that anymore, folks.
Aluminum pump. Yeah.
Solid wood.
Solid wood. 7-ounce tank.
Does it work?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't have any CO2, but yeah, it works.
Dude, that's amazing.
Fancy flip top lid for the ammo box.
That was a speed feed back in the day.
Yes, it was.
So you just pour the 10-round tubes into that?
Yep. This is just a scope cover that they found fits on there. Yeah. Although, I don't know if you can see, this one actually says PMI on it.
Move it to your right.
This way?
Nice. Yeah.
So PMI branded them, but because they were like Buckhorn or something like that, was actually the scope manufacturer.
So they just found the lens covers from whatever that company was and rebranded them to say PMI.
I believe so.
Nice. How many jerseys you
Got an Adam Geis Avalanche jersey. He was an NTK kid. Got Spud Jackson Aftershock jersey. Have Spud's autococker
Oh my god.
that went along with that.
Does that thing work?
It weighs a ton.
Well, you got a stainless steel barrel on it too.
Well, yeah, that's what came on it. So wanted to keep it original.
How'd you end up with Spud's gun?
A club, an auction club,
Oh.
autococker club.
Steel braided.
Raffled it off. Over on this other wall that you can't see is a Kenny Clamper shock jersey to go along with the Kenny Clamper SFL.
What's that say right there next to Aftershock in little letters?
Up here,
Yeah.
it says Kenny Clamper.
Wait, tilt it a little bit more towards me. So, there you go. Aha! That's an SFL. That's clean. When's the last time you shot that bad boy?
A Living Legends. I took it out on the field and used it. Like the last Living Legends that was at CPX.
Ah. That's awesome.
Here we go. NPBL, San Diego.
Hey, I won that event too.
Yeah, we were on the stage together when they were handing these things out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't have the trophy though. I think Di has it.
And another big one here. I know it's rounded, but
UWL.
It's a UWL Mexico.
What part of Mexico was
First
that in?
place, Cancun.
Ah, you lucky dog. That's got to be a great event.
Yeah. Where is it? It says Cancun on it. If I can maneuver it correctly, there it is.
2015.
There is another one from 14, but I didn't get that one. That one's at the Pointer Brothers shop.
Their bike shop / paintball shop?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because it was the two of them, myself and John.
So when you play now, what gun do you use?
Usually the EMEC. Inception EMEC.
Ooh, has that been Caesarized?
No. I haven't sent any guns to Caesar yet.
So I just talked with Caesar the other day. I didn't know how involved Caesarizing is.
Oh, his process.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he like bakes the silk stuff into the metal. It's not just like squirting some lube on it and letting it dry.
Right.
It's a permanent process.
No, right. Yeah. I've spoken with him about it before at events, but haven't ever sent him.
Yeah, but I've shot guns that he's done and they're just incredible.
Oh yeah.
Smooth. So, but I need to get a gun that's worthy of getting Caesarized. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to show?
I guess just It's sitting here. Iron Man.
Ooh. M3?
DLS.
Oh, DLS. Those are rare.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they made an Iron Man one. So is that like a shelf queen, or you shoot that thing?
I've shot it some, but I don't know. I prefer mechanical, but I've shot it.
Yeah. So you coming to Texas in a couple weeks?
Yes.
In 1 week? No, in
Yes.
3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. In like 3 days. Yeah. Soon. Yes.
And you're pitting with Shock?
Yes. I
Right on.
believe we'll be helping X Factor too, except I think there's one game that they've got at the same time that we, can't be in both places, but
Who do you think's gonna win?
haven't really thought on it that much.
Let's think on it.
Let's think on it.
Well, there's an easy answer, right?
Well, yeah, there's an easy answer. Right. That or a low risk answer anyway, but
Yeah. How do you think Shock will do?
I think they'll do better than they did in Vegas.
Have you been at their practices?
Not this week, or not leading up to this event. No.
Yeah.
Whoa, knocking over guns.
Yeah, I'd like to see Shock do well. I always want to see the Ironman do well, just because,
Yeah.
history.
Right.
But it's hard not to root for Dynasty.
Right.
It's like
Right.
they're like the Chicago Bulls of the 90s.
Right. The high probability
Yeah.
that they will win. Yes.
What about the Hurricanes? How do you think they'll do this event?
I think they'll do well. I don't know. They'll probably make it late into Sunday.
Do you think that the last event was like kind of like an anomaly for them, or you think they'll be consistently
No, I
making
think
it
they've been.
Sunday?
I think they've been working at it and have continued to keep on it.
Yeah. We will see.
Yes.
So, Tom, what would you like to see in paintball media that we don't currently see enough of?
I guess advertising, or some purpose made ads, like I was saying, there are so many JT ads that they spent lots of time making, and they're very, very interesting photos, and they sometimes ran like in 3 magazines all the same month, but they ran them 1 month.
Yeah.
and made another cool and interesting ad for the next month. I mean, there's some really iconic ones of Bob Long and the original Iron Man guys all standing, together, looking very mean. But I mean, it's a great picture, and it ran once.
Well, I think companies, they put effort into ads these days, but because of like the nature of how people consume social media, it's like a company
Mhm.
could put a ton of resources into an ad and ton of effort, and then someone just watches it for 2 seconds and scrolls their thumb, boom, and it passed it already, you know?
True.
And the Gap magazine ads are a perfect example of that. Like, Gap is putting effort into the videos with Oliver and the videos with Yosh and making these great ads, but I don't know if people's attention spans are there where they're just gonna like, okay, I'll watch this ad, you know?
Right. Oh, it's an ad. Get rid of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, man. So it's kind of a shame that maybe a necessary evil too. I don't know. You kind of have to
Yeah,
evolve the
I
way that
mean,
people look at ads.
yeah, and I'm sure you have to probably it's probably money better spent to actually, go ahead and make the video so that it's there. But
Yeah.
I don't know, just being, from all the print stuff, just there are definitely ads that are iconic too. That people you can show and people go, "Oh, I remember that one."
Do you think that with well, we'll talk about Gap because it's,
Yeah.
it's what we have in print right now. Do you think for as far as like the younger players, the ones that didn't even know paintball magazines ever existed, like that's how new they are into paintball.
Mhm.
Uh, do you think that they see the Gap magazine and they're like, "Oh, that's for the old guys," or do you think it's like, "Oh, let me get that new and exciting thing"?
I think they'll want to see the magazine, want to see the new and exciting thing. It won't quite it doesn't have the same impact though as, when that was all there was and you had to wait the month for the next one to come out and
Yeah,
get it and to see what was going on. And, whatever tournament results took 3 months, sometimes
true.
if you weren't there to actually see it in the magazine and find out who won what, you were waiting months sometimes.
So that is probably, well, Alex says it's antiquated, right? For
Mhm.
tournament results, people consume that through social media now. The purpose of magazines now is thoughtful articles, amazing pictures. But I'm sure you remember, Tom, like, remember the feeling of a new magazine coming out when you saw it on the shelf? It's like, I don't have that one yet, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
And you couldn't wait to get that's what I want people to feel, because that's what I feel, like, when I got the shipping notification for Gap magazine, like, I can't wait
Oh, yeah.
to get it.
Right,
I
for it to
haven't even
be
f
here. Yeah.
Yeah, and, I haven't even f I've seen, people with it, but I haven't been able to sit down and flip through every page yet, because I'm saving that
Yeah.
for when I get it, you know?
Yeah. No, and I too have seen it and seen people flipping through it, seen bits and pieces, but have not seen the whole thing either.
Yeah. And that's intentional for me, I'll look at it, I'll
Yeah.
look over someone's shoulder, but I don't wanna, I don't wanna do it till I get to
Right,
have
save it.
time with
Gotta
it.
savor it.
Savor it, right? So, that's what I
Yeah.
want people to feel, the feeling that I have when the magazine comes out. So, if you're a younger player and you've never seen a paintball magazine before, you may not know what I'm talking about, what we're talking about, but it's a special thing that you get to be present in and focus in on, because when you're on social media scrolling through paintball content, there's so many other things vying for your attention. And it's so easy for those things to get your attention with just a flick of your thumb. When you're looking at the Gap magazine, that's your moment. You're in that moment. You're present. So get the magazine, enjoy it, and have a little taste of nostalgia, you know,
For sure. For
for
sure.
sure.
I mean, I've got, you know, old APGs from like 87, some of the first ones that my fingerprints are on the covers because I've worn the ink off, having, had them look through them so many times. Uh, there are fingerprints on, that you can see just looking at the covers of them, that because I've went through them so many times.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember going through a magazine for months or a month, like waiting for the new one to come out. And it's like, okay,
Right.
well, and I would read them cover to cover. I'd read the ads, like everything. I'd read the addresses of the businesses that are, advertising in them.
Right.
Full nerd. Full nerd.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. I understand completely.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
because what is it this guy's doing to the guns out in California? That one looks really a little different. What has he done? That's Where is that? Oh yeah, okay. If I ever get out there, I have to go
Dude, and
see
I
this
remember,
store.
like, the store ads, like 888 Paintball and National Paintball Supply would have these two-page ads in magazines, and you're like, "Wow, that gun costs that much money? Holy that Bob
Right.
Long autococker costs that much? Wow." You know? What do they do to it? So, just want that feeling back. Tom, what are you most thankful for paintball's given you?
It's got to be the standard answer of, friends, relationships, all that. There, you know, as everyone always says, I know so many people from so many different places that without paintball, I probably would have never met.
Yeah. It's true, man. It's a special community. It really
Oh
is.
yeah.
Well, Tom, thank you very much for your time here. Is there anything that you'd like to part with for the paintball community?
No, not really. Just, go out there, have fun, keep playing.
Cool. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.